Hello, and welcome to the Making Vestibular Visible podcast. I'm Cynthia Ryan, Executive Director of the Vestibular Disorders Association, and today we'll be speaking with Dr. Viviana Mucci and Luca Vajani about the Bequalise Belt and Companion app. So, what is this belt and how does it work? The Bequalise belt tracks vital signs such as breathing patterns, heart rate, and body temperature. And then this data is processed through an app which provides tailored feedback and recommendations so people can improve their stability and reduce symptoms of dizziness. I'm interested, and I'm sure you are as well, to learn more about how the belt works, the science behind it, and how it can empower vestibular patients on their journey. So I'm going to bring on our guests, Dr. Viviana Mucci and Luca Vajani. Welcome, both of you.
Hi, and thank you so much. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Well, let me get some introductions here so everybody knows who you are. So Dr. Viviana Mucci is a clinical scientist and vestibular researcher with a passion for improving the quality of life of people living with dizziness and balance disorders. With a background in biomedical sciences and a PhD in neuroscience, her work is focused on understanding complex vestibular conditions like Malda-Debarkment syndrome. I'm sure many of you have seen her research in that area, and motion sensitivity. Dr. Mucci has published widely in the field and collaborates internationally on research and innovation in vestibular care. She's also the co-developer of the Bequalise Belt and app. So welcome, Vivi.
Thank you so much for having me, Cynthia. Thank you. Thank you to Veda. And we're really grateful to have the platform of Veda supporting us. And I'm really excited to try to explain a little bit more what we're doing so that it's cleared for everybody and why we started. So thanks again for having us.
Perfect. I'm excited to get into that. But first, let me just give you some background on Luca Vajani. He is a movement specialist and also co-creator of the Bequalise Belt and app. His background is in physical performance, somatic education, and body awareness practices. Lucas spent years exploring how movement and breath can support the nervous system regulation and well-being, and his work bridges the gap between science and the embodied experience, focusing on practical tools that help people reconnect with their bodies, especially those living with chronic dizziness and imbalance. So welcome, Luca.
Welcome, thank you. I'm so really grateful to be here. And
I'd like to mention a few things. Luca is also a tech guy, and our CTO is my co-founder in Bequalise. So he comes also from a background of of AI, and he's an expert in AI as well. So that's also to be mentioned. Thanks again.
Excellent. AI is everyone wants to know about AI these days and how it can, it's in our lives everywhere and we don't even know it, but especially in wearable technology. And that's another big thing that people are really learning about these days or using without really knowing about it. So let's start with you, Vivian, and tell us what inspired you to develop the Bequalise Belt and app. And was it based on some patient experience or your research, your clinical research?
Sure. So as you know, I've done a lot of work on essential vestibular disorders, on Malda-Debarkment syndrome, on post-concussion dizziness, and so on. So I was lucky enough to be exposed to a lot of patients. And funny enough, during COVID, I started having more and more people reaching out to my emails, just asking me for what they could do to get better. And that's how everything started. So I put together a team of experts, which basically involves very different expertise, because as we often discuss, and as we discussed even with you before, we do believe that given the complexity of vestibular problems, there isn't just one solution fits all, and there must be a multidisciplinary team. So I put together ENTs, neurologists, homeopaths, chiropractors, physical therapists, and so on, to try to provide a platform, just internally, how to distribute these patients and to get the best care. And that's when then I got the idea, not from me, but somebody suggested, maybe you should make an app and trying to help more people. So we decided to try first the Bequalise app. As you know, we built an MVP. What you see right now in the market and what's available in iOS and Android is a very, very primary level of the development of the app. It's not the full version. And then just a few months ago with Luca, given that he has expertise also, he has also another company that works on AI and wearables. We were thinking we should actually try to give something more concrete. And the idea came because probably also you, Cynthia, but most of us, we have so many apps. The phone explodes. There's so many informations. And even if we believe that our app can really provide some useful information for the patients, tips, especially about their life, we were thinking we need to give something in their hands that is more concrete and something that they can wear and they can understand. And we decided to diminish whatever we were doing, the complexity of the holistic approach, to just two things that we want everybody that uses and joins Bequalise, which is breathing and movement. And that's why we decided to create a very simple wearable that fits into the category of wellness, not medical device, not yet. We might have a patent coming in the future, but for now we want to focus on the very, very simple aspects, which is, again, breathing and movement. And that's why we decided to combine the belt. So this is the story in a short.
Awesome. So, Luca, you're the expert in AI and in movement. So can you talk us through a little bit about, the journey of conceiving of the belt and, what the use of it would be? What were the challenges?
Yeah, I think we start to think about this belt because, today, to get some data that is usable or not with AI, you need really huge machines, and you have some special balance board that costs really thousands of keys, and we decided to try to create something that is cheap and that everyone can use at home. So that's where the belt comes from. And because, with the sensor inside the belt, we have scheduled a list of exercises that every user with the belt can perform just using the app. And the app is going to collect the data and compare to thousands of other users that make the same exercise. Mm-hmm. And with this comparison, we can understand, using some special AI algorithm that we develop, how the specific person situation is and what they can improve to get better. And later comes up the breathing relevation. That is really, really a big improvement in this kind of device, because there are some technologies similar around, but we decided to introduce also the breathing first for the holistic vision of Bequalise of the rehab program. So, we have mindfulness, we have health inside, not just, medical rehab. So the breathing is so important to everyone. And this is quite a challenge for us, for the technician, because the balance and the breathing are really two very different kind of series of data that we have to understand. But I think we are on a really great way. And a little, a little plus that we have inside the app is that we introduce also a thermometer inside the belt that can also get the temperature of your diaphragm muscles.
Yeah, so Lucas,
And
I will jump in this because it's very specific and some people don't know. When we breathe, most of us, some people, we don't really breathe properly. And there is a way through the thermometer to understand if we are using our axillary muscles, that are the helper muscles in breathing, or if we are not. If we are not using our right muscles to breathe, your core temperature, so your temperature will not go up when you do breathing exercises. And that's an indication that you're not breathing properly. So we have an expert in our team, which is a respiratory physiology, which has recently joined, that really opened to us a whole world about how important is respiration for many, many things, even just to lose weight. As a simpler example, if you're not breathing properly and you're not engaging these axillary muscles, it's one of the reasons why people have the so-called lovers handles, the fat around the waist. Yeah, that also comes from the fact that we're not really taught how to breathe with the all areas of the body, from the up to the diaphragm to the pelvis. So we're not engaging in a proper way. And this is quite a link that many people don't do. But being in physiology, we actually investigated the relationship between balance and breathing and the proprioceptors and how they get influenced by breathing. And now when you learn to breathe, your autonomic system changes. You get more relaxed. And when you get more relaxed, we know that this has also an impact on the way we perceive. And given that so many, unfortunately, people with dizziness, they hold the anxiety, they get scared, they don't want to move, they hold their breath. We thought that, as Lucas said, we wanted to go beyond what's currently available also in the current standard of care and integrating something extra that not many people, even scientists, we know about it because it's quite new. So that's why we focus on these two parameters. Thanks,
Well,
Lucas. Sorry.
you answered my question before I asked it, but I'll ask it just for the benefit of everybody. I mean, so I was going to ask, why do you choose to focus on, and you said this initially, you focus on breath regulation and movement as the core components of this system. And I'm sure everybody is wondering how that relates to vestibular disorder. So if I understand it correctly, you're saying that for the breath movement, by giving feedback on how they're breathing, or if they're not breathing properly, then you can give them, through the app, tailored exercises to learn to breathe properly, to reduce the nervous system's excitement, so that
Yeah.
they are not being their vestibular systems are not being triggered. Am I understanding that right?
Yes. Yes. So a quick revision of how we work in the vestibular system. Now I put my scientist head, not my business head. So that and there is a reason for it, even if the solution is very simple. So the vestibular system, we know, is a multisensory integration. Comes from proprioceptors, eye, neck, right? But it also has inputs in our somatic system. In other words, it influences the cardiovascular responses, autonomic responses, the nervous system, and so on. So what we wanted to, when we think about a solution, we thought about what type of patients are we having? And we see that there is one thing that all of us, we have to do all day, every day, is breathing and is moving. There is no, like, you have to do those two activities to survive, right? So we thought, why don't we focus on the two basic, most simple things that are also the two most effective things? Why? If you are having anxiety, stress, if you are just tense because you are having imbalances and you don't feel comfortable within your walking around and yourself, and you're going through a rehabilitation journey, breathing and being able to act your breath is the easiest form to regulate your nervous system. It's the number one thing you can do on your own, with your eyes closed, by yourself, seated, without it's the number one thing you can do that can regulate your nervous system. So number one. Number two, movement. So as Lucas said, we have so many expenses platform and posturography and exams and data that we try to collect that are not always available. So we were like, how can we actually give a feedback if you are improving your balance so that you become more aware that all these exercises that you're doing, all this inner work that you're doing is actually giving you a result. Okay, we give you a posturography in the most simple way. And then we decided, so these are the two easy things that we decided to do first. Because they're the most effective. And we are aware that, as Luca said, there are competitors on the market that have built something called a balance belt. And, we call it the Bequalise belt. We have nothing to do what other people have developed right now. We are not a typical posturography belt. We're not. You don't place our device where other people placed it. We don't take the same parameter. We have different algorithm, different system integration. So we are really trying to build something that it's in the wellness to address a specific need. And that's what we're focusing on right now.
Right. So for people who are listening who may have heard of the balance belt, that's a different belt made by a different company that gives, if you are about to fall, it gives you signals that indicate that you're going to fall. This is different. Luca, can you tell us about the sensors in this belt? And you mentioned this sensing the temperature in the diaphragm area and what that does. What other sensors are there? What other kinds of information are you gathering?
Oh, we have movement, so acceleration of the body, and the balancing, the gyroscope is the technical name. So with mixing these two or other couple of little sensor inside, and we can really get accurate elevation of the micro movements of the people. So when you wear the belt, you have a first setup stage before starting the exercise. So the belt can understand your basic micro movements. And then when the exercise starts, it can get the delta from the first position and can track in a really proper way everything that is needed to understand it. And the same is for the breathing. So my dream is that this kind of belt can be worn every day for a simple reason, because I suffered of migraine since I was a child. And I really get to stop it when I realized that when I was in tension, I was compressing my jaw and stopped breathing. And stop for hours. Breathing is not the proper way. And that I had tension here and, on the neck, and in some hours will start the migraine, And when I realized that was only to relax my mouth and breathe correctly without any medicine, I stopped suffering, and that's fantastic, I think. So I hope that we can help also with a good revision of this data and of the breathing and of the temperature and the balance to really help people also without the need to use medicine.
I think a lot of people will be able to can relate to your experience. We have a lot of vestibular migraine patients in our community, and a lot of people complain about a relationship between TMJ,
temporomandibular joint, yes,
disorder, and other types of stressors that contribute to their symptoms. So, on that note, I just wanted to ask, what types of vestibular patients might benefit from the Bequalise system? Are there certain conditions that it's most helpful for?
Okay, so we are having programs. We are still developing, but for now we are focusing on the most relevant peripheral and some central vestibular disorders. So the most relevant peripheral will be anybody that has had an acute event. So they probably visited the emergency department, and then they've been given some sorts of treatment, and they are in this recovery. I make an example: vestibular neurotitis, You got to the hospital, vomited, you've been treated, now it's been a month, you're still a bit dizzy. So you're not in the need of proper care. You can still do whatever you're taking, medication or see your physical therapist, but you can enter this journey in the months after you had an episode, for example. So we have a lot of, we have a BPV, vestibular neurotitis, Meniere disease, so the peripheral side. And then we are also exploring on the central side. So we have vestibular migraine, PPPD, of course, MDDS, PPPD / visual induced dizziness. So we also consider the patients that have and are suffering from chronic dizziness. So we are not meant to substitute any healthcare practitioners. Actually, we encourage all our patients to go and see healthcare practitioners. We also have a link with you to redirect them through your portal to the closest doctors, wherever they are. So we are not meant to replace that, but we're meant to be like a tool that can just get the patients by hand day to day and give them an extra understanding of how they function in space, what is their balance, how are they breathing, so that they can quicker get into their recovery journey. So the ultimate aim is that they will stay in our app for a year while they are improving, and then eventually within a year, maybe a year and a half, they might be able to get off for the version of the app that we have right now, because we are really aiming to serve the recovery journey and to give tools to patients, that they can improve. In the long term, of course, we want to add more wellness protocols, so protocols that might be helpful for everybody. Again, because we focus on two most important things, movement and breathing. And we know that these are applicable to anybody, even to people that have the TMJ, people that are stressed, people that have a burnout. Really nowadays are things that can go for everybody. But the focus right now is to serve this type of population, the dizzy patients.
Yeah, I can certainly see that. I mean, we've always often talked about how vestibular disorders are very similar to a lot of other chronic illnesses, and dealing with the wellness aspect could certainly be extended to people with chronic fatigue or long COVID, which very much mimics vestibular disorders in so many ways. Can you share how the belt might fit into a person's daily routine or rehabilitation programs, how it's used in certain activities? Luca, do you want to start with that? And then Vivi, maybe you can talk about the other parts of the app that aren't related to the belt.
Yeah, of course. Bequalise was born to give a daily rehabilitation program. So the use of the belt should be made daily, included in your personal program that our AI is going to elaborate and propose, And in a second phase, we're going to open a B2B channel. So provide the belt and another special tool to the professionals. And so people can share the results with their caregiver or with their healthcare professional. And he can also have one or two belts in the studio and can use it to periodically test the patient's progress. So the main way is this one.
Okay,
so it's sorry, just to add one more thing. So before you mentioned about maybe translating what we're doing to any other chronic condition, I mean, I'd like to specify why we're starting from vestibular, apart that, of course, the expertise and the journey. But what we did that most people haven't done it is that every exercises that we propose through the AI and Luca's application that he developed with us, developed because he coded, actually, his team coded. That's what I mean. We have actually went into the specification of which exercises are needed per subpathology, which means if you have vestibular neurotitis and you have vestibular migraine and you go to a physical therapist, you're definitely going to have very different exercises, similar but different. If you have had, if you have a unilateral vestibular loss, let's say you have a problem just on one side, you will be doing exercises for that condition. And if you have something more general, you will be doing something else. So what we did is that our team, we went into trying to tailor-made and give the best exercises in a form of fitness, not rehabilitation, so that it's fun, per different categories of pathology. So this is the difference, and this is what we did that other people haven't done it. So that's why if we were ever going to expand it, we will have to, again, look at where we want to expand it, because we want the person to really get something that is for them, for their problem. So one of the questions that we got asked a lot was, what if I have more than one pathology together? And we said, no problem. You can use it with the one pathology first and then the other. So meaning that, what is your primary problems? What is your primary symptoms? Okay, you have a peripheral problem first, address that, and then you can go to the migraine problem, because the migraine is probably being underlying there forever. So this is where we are a little bit different than anybody else because of what we provide. But yeah, just to be more specific.
Can I ask a question? So if I understand it correctly, people can wear the belt. They don't wear the, actually, let me ask the question. Do they wear the belt all the time or just when they're doing exercises?
I believe that for now, they will wear it when they are doing the exercises, but they are welcome to wear it all the time. The more data, the better. So, you know.
Okay. And so also, Luca, you had mentioned that they can be wearing it when they're doing the exercises that were prescribed to them by their physical therapist. So, I have that question, but then I'll add on to that, that the app is providing them with feedback. That's what you were saying, Vivi, and it's feedback on specifically the condition that they have. So it's kind of a combination of wearing it while they're doing exercises that were prescribed to them, which is fine. It's collecting data that they can then share with their healthcare provider, but also the app will be giving them suggestions for other things that they can do that are customized both to the condition, the diagnosis that they entered, and the feedback that the app is the app is getting from the belt based on their movement and breathing. Am I right?
Correct.
Exactly, correct.
Absolutely correct.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I hope I don't know if you have anything else to say about the use of it. If you do, feel free to add that. I was going to jump into the research and how you figured this out.
Sure, no problem. I think we don't have that much to add. We went in depth into it. I think that it's just as everything, we try to make a solution that is for everybody, that is cheap, that anybody can get it, and that's useful. And I believe that if anybody learns to breathe better, the world will be a better place, because you can regulate your nervous systems, you know. So that these are the simple things we're trying to do.
So have you done, I know that you probably aren't, well, I just ask this. Have you done any research or clinical research based on the app and the belt, or do you have any patient feedback from patients that have used the belt?
Yes, so we have had the belt used, but not the latest version. So we have had the data sets from healthy volunteers, from recording from the belt data, but now we are actually stepping into a new prototype that we haven't tested yet. So the reason also why we are so keen to try to get more people involved is that because we want to basically be able to finalize the integration between the wearables and the mobile applications, and then have a final product that we can test it. And we want to be testing it with many different group of population, to be honest. There is a plan, but this is the next step. So we are getting there. What we are doing is nothing new in terms of neither physiology, neither wearables. But the new thing is that we are putting things together that before they weren't together. So the innovation is just the way we manipulate the data, and the fact that we are looking at things together that other wearables are not. There are so many wearables nowadays on the market, so we are not claiming to be the wearable providing you with the insight. No, we're not claiming that. You can have other wearables, but our, let's say, unique selling proposition, our unique features is that we are putting things together that nobody has, and that gives you an output that is different. That's it.
And what do you mean by putting together things that nobody else has?
Like the respiration and the proprioceptor work, like the fact that we look not just at the posturography, but we also look at the way you are breathing, and we give a subspecialty type of movement per pathology. These are the different things that we're doing.
Okay. And the patients that have used it thus far, what have they reported? Have they reported reduced dizziness, improved balance? How does it affect their actual, symptoms?
So far, as I mentioned, we have tested the technology. We haven't tested the full usability of the app. So the main thing that we've been reported is definitely that exercises can help, and breathing. So we have had a few patients also entering journey personalized with the specialists we have in the team, such as Dr. Valentina, that she's our mindfulness teacher. And we do have had results of patients that actually learn finally to breathe and to meditate and to be within themselves, which has given them extreme, not relief, but awareness of themselves, which is good. And then they start to improve. So these are the main feedback that we've got from the exercises as well. Very simple, like the exercises, they work. Because they're very standard exercises that we are using, all validated, clinical trial proven, published exercises. And then the breathing. So those are the feedback that we've got so far. But we hope to get more and more the moment we're able to conclude this transition phase between the wearable and the app together, which we're building.
Right. So let's see. I was going to ask if we've been talking mostly about the belt, because that's kind of the new part of this. But just so that everybody knows, there's more to the app than the belt, right? The belt senses, it takes data from your body, puts it into the app, and the app gives you some customized suggestions for exercises and movement and breathing exercises. But there's more education in the app, right?
Yes. Yeah, sure. So right now, if I have to be critical of my app and not selling it, I will tell you that this is not the final version, guys. Please stay tuned, register it. You will get a better version. We're not there yet. Please be mindful with us, be patient. But the one thing I can tell you that we have done that it's quite useful, we have 3 ways to enter the app. You can enter if you are a caregiver. Many times, I'll make an example. A lot of men, their wife gets sick and they don't, or their mom gets sick and they don't know what these women are having, for example, with the dizziness. So you can enter the app, you can select the diagnosis given to whoever, your friend, your parents, your family member, and you can learn. So there is a big side on education, which we really, really want people to learn. And that's why we linked up also with Veda, because we are advocates to spread more awareness about the pathologies. And we love what Veda is also doing because it's needed. The second is that you can register as a patient. Right now, the way is, again, to put your primary disorder, primary diagnosis, and then eventually to have a second, you can choose a second one and re-enter the app if you have more than one diagnosis. So you can enter the journey like that, but we're changing that. And then there is a last one you can enter as a healthcare practitioner and register as well. So the second version of the app that is going to come out with the belt is going to be much simpler. So the user journey will be simplified. We realize that we don't want to ask per se the diagnosis, because we know that we are in a field where diagnoses, they overlap. Some patients, they're not sure. So we might go more, not just with diagnosis, but with the symptoms, how they are feeling. The app has a lot of useful features. It has a peer reminder. It has triggers. It has so many insights that you can read about it. It has a diet. Like, do you have migraine? Go read our migraine diet. Like, there are a lot of information that you can get from the app right now, even if it's an MVP. We understand there is work to do, so it's coming, but you can still download it and use it. Still, there are usable things inside the app.
So people can just download the app and use what the app has,
And it's
and then tell us
really,
about the belt and what you're doing with the belt right now. You're looking for people to sign up in advance to get the belt, right?
yes. So as mentioned, we have been working on this for a while, and now we need the final push. So we're asking everybody that is interested to help us to get to the final stage, to kind of support us as being the early birds, because you're gonna get basically we aiming to get only 2,000 devices for now. So if you're gonna be one of the first 2,000 people signing up, you will get the device within 5 to 6 months from the moment we close the campaign. And of course, you will also have access to the app for free for lifetime, because you'll be an early supporter in the early birds. So this is the way we are trying to see also the feedback from the patient, how much they are interested in this, because we're building it for them. So if they are going to commit and help us to get to the final product that we are doing for them, we will definitely give them a lifetime free access to the app, and then have the device delivered to them wherever they are in the world. So we ship anywhere, it doesn't matter. And there are different packages that they can buy. So there is a basic package. You can check on shop.bequalise.com and use the discount VEDA, which is very important, because for us, we will give you a discount code. There is a second package where they basically get access to workshops with all the specialists in our team. And then there is a last one where they also contribute with a small amount that will go into finalizing our research. So this is more if they are willing to donate on a donation basis, basically, the last one. That's it. So we also want to test the patients, how much they're interested, how much they want it. We are building it for them, with them. So we're like, why don't we ask them directly to support us, since we really have been confronted in the business field a lot with many, many people asking us, why you want to focus on vestibular patients? There are not that many dizzy patients. And we'd be repeating and repeating, actually, there are so many. And we want to try to help them because it's not a sexy disease, it's not something that many people talk about. And so that's why we said, instead of asking for investors, let's ask directly to the patients. You will support us in advance and we will deliver it to you. That's it. This is the reasoning.
Right. So by participating in advance, by making a pre-order of the belt, you're getting a discount by using the VITA discount code, and you're basically participating in the community to give feedback on the use of the belt that will improve the belt for future generations, and getting locked into having a lifetime access to all of those improvements.
Exactly, to the app. And we will be very grateful for the first 2,000 patients that believe in what we're doing, because we hope to also utilize them, as you said, for the feedback, for the development, to interview them once we deliver to them the final tool, get all the insights. So we thought that this could be a journey to share with the direct people that we're trying to help. So this is... Yes.
Excellent. I hope that, I've been watching the people who have joined, have stayed on and listened throughout. I hope that you will go and check out the belt. And if you have questions, I'm sure that Dr. Mucci and Luca would be happy to answer them. So just reach out and ask your questions. We're here to just provide as much information as possible. I know sometimes it's really confusing to understand what you're going to be getting. So we will also provide a summary of this presentation and a transcript, so that this is recorded. You can go back and watch it again, write down your questions, send them in, and then go to shop.bequalise.com/VITA. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and also thank you for your passion for helping vestibular patients. I really
thank you so much. Thank you, Cinzia. We really appreciate Vida, and we want to tell that we always come back to all the patients that write to us. You can find the info also in our bequalise.com website. We always come back to any of you. Please get in touch. You can follow us on Instagram. We are always trying to engage because we are doing it for them, with them. So this is why we're also really grateful for the support of Vida. And inshallah, hopefully something good will come out of this that can benefit a lot of people. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you so much.